Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your Savior Sync, and this is the first episode of the Old School RuneScape Content Creator Showcase. This is more of a podcast type deal where I want to highlight some of the lesser known content creators in our community. They're not going to be the frames and the solo missions and the settleds, but they're definitely going to be up and coming creators. On this first episode, we're going to be speaking with Mountain Man, and I do want to apologize in advance for the audio quality on my end. His mic and voice came through perfect. Unfortunately, mine was having some issues, and I think it's due to the fact I didn't mute myself in OBS, and it was taking my voice in there and in Discord. I'll definitely have to work on that in the future. One of the plans for this channel is to get myself a better mic, since that does seem to be one of the hardest issues I have with content creation is my audio quality. So again, I do apologize for the inconvenience when it comes to me talking in this. But if you like this video and you want to see more, make sure that you leave a like, you subscribe to the channel, and you leave a comment. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I also now have a link in the description to my link tree that gives you access to all my social medias. I do plan on branching out more into TikTok and Instagram Reels just to put clips in there. Just bring some more attention to the channel, especially since I'm going to be working more with the community and highlighting a lot of players within it. So again, thank you for watching this video, listening to the podcast. I don't know if this is going to go up on Spotify or anywhere yet, but this is going to stick on YouTube for the time being. Again, I want to thank Mountain Man for his time. We only expected this to be a 10 to 15 minute video and ended up going for almost an hour. So again, thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
Hello.
How we doing?
Good.
Of course, as soon as I hit recording, there's a ice cream truck going down my street. That's just my luck. All right, so didn't get anyone from your Discord server giving me any questions, but I think I should probably have enough to cover most of them anyways.
All right, cool.
All right, so first things first, I really need to get out of the way because it kind of bugs me a little bit. Where did nice come from, anyways?
Well, I had watched a lot of other YouTubers who do content like mine, and I noticed there was always like something they would like maybe say the number, or they'd like skip 5 levels and then say that number, or then like show it and do something, and I was like, it's all the same anyways. We've seen everybody get every one of these levels 100 times, so I might as well just make it nice and uniform, say nice every time. And so the first episode, I just decided to say nice on everyone instead of, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, So it just kind of caught on from there, and I just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, you definitely locked it in after the first episode. As I said, I just binged all your content while I was at work through my headphones. So that first episode, just nice about 50 times.
Yep.
But it definitely caught on because I noticed a lot of people pop up in the comment section. And then, of course, it's one of your emotes now.
Yeah, I think it started with just a kind of fun little thing, and then I'm glad it kind of branched out into being something a little bit bigger, something that the community now has been looking forward to seeing what I can do with the next set of nices. Am I going to make a song with them? Am I going to, show 200 of them at the same time? I think that's always been fun to kind of try and see what I can do next, what I can change. So
If we weren't in June and we were in like March, it'd be perfect for an April Fool's. Just release a video of all the nices.
yeah, I had a lot of fun with the. I actually did have an April Fool's video come out. It was this song that I put in the last episode of Mountain Man, just as kind of like originally I was gonna release it as an actual like, hey, check out this song, but then
Mm-hmm.
I saw that April Fool's was coming, and I was like, well, this is a kind of funny song, so why don't I just throw this in there, make it look nice,
Was it
Maybe.
the Clue Steps by the Number by chance?
Yes, it was.
That was spot on though.
It was a lot of fun to figure out how to make it sound and look, the way that it felt when I play a lot of Fallout, so I knew the song from that.
Actually, good transition to my next question. I was going to ask if you had any kind of like musical training or anything like that, or.
So the reason that I've done like covers and parodies of songs as compared to writing my own is that I don't have a lot of training in terms of creating my own music.
Mhm.
Uh, in college, I did a cappella, and in high school, I did choir. So I do have a lot of music training, but not a lot of like making my own stuff. I know that a lot of other creators. The one that comes to my mind most recently that I watched was Frosty Bard's
Mhm.
Scraps of Paper. I mean, all of his fun little ditties in between or at the beginning of his stuff has been really interesting and fun. So, um, yeah, I'm not that talented, but it is fun to kind of figure out how to make something RuneScape related fit into the world of these newer songs or older songs. So
Well, I definitely think you nailed it. That's for sure. When you look at a lot of the content creators that have been coming out lately, you have you, Frosty Bard, LSD Broski. Everyone's implementing some form of music into the content,
mm-hmm.
and obviously, one of the main inspirations for a lot of people, I'm sure, is Jimmy. How much he put effort into his music,
Yep.
and he nails it doing it completely front to back himself. And now that's not to take anything away from you being the lyricist. You came up with the lyrics, you sang it, it was spot on. And that's where I was getting at the acapella, the choir. That definitely sets you at a predisposition to succeed in that department. And I honestly think you should keep it up because it's another one of the things that differentiates you in the mass of UIMs and chunk accounts.
Yes, I definitely from day one I wanted to make sure that my content stood out in a way that like you could totally fall into that category of like here's something that someone has kind of done before but maybe not really exactly the way they're doing it, and then you put out a video and it's like pretty similar to that world that someone else has already made. I feel like I wanted to make sure right off the bat that I was hopping onto something new, so I chose a different background music than other creators. I ended up, editing, like mixing media. Like in episode 2 of Mountain Man, I had all of the Call of Duty guns and stuff. They
Mm-hmm.
had a Call of Duty death match or whatever, and I just think that I always like to mix kind of the things that I enjoy into the work that I'm creating, and so it's always been very comfortable to be different than some of the other content creators out there. So
Yeah, you definitely added a lot of other medias into there. All the Rocky, the Paul Bunyan, that stuff.
hmm
Now, speaking of Rocky, originally I had the question of what was your favorite Rocky movie, but then I noticed that you were you used Indiana Jones at one point, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to change this question up to what is your favorite movie?
oh well, it's hard to pin down just one, but if I had to pick kind of like an overall my favorite movie, it'd probably be The Iron Giant.
Oh, there
Um,
we go.
I think
You
that
just
that
took me
one,
back.
yeah, that one's got a lot of nostalgia, but it's also like I watched it for the like 100th time about like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, this movie doesn't just hold up, it's like better now that I'm older and I like understand all of the references that they're making in it. So yeah, I think that that's probably my favorite movie of all time.
Speaking of time, how much time did you dedicate to working on your songs, like specifically the drop table song?
Yeah, that one was definitely the longest of the edits and songs that I had made on the account. It took about maybe 12 and a half hours of from writing the lyrics to recording it to um, I had to edit the actual background song to make it longer because
Mm-hmm.
my version is about 30 seconds longer than um, than the original version, so I had to edit that. I had to put together the song in the audio form, and then I had to lay over all of the footage for it, make sure I had every piece that I was picking up for each of them, and then I also went back and put over the karaoke track on top of it. So yeah, it was probably about 12 and a half hours, and I kind of did it in 2 sittings. So um, yeah, it took a while though.
That's actually pretty impressive that it was only 12 hours. Now, when it comes to a lot of these extended, um, not so much extended, but content enhancers, not a lot of people appreciate how much time it takes to actually do that stuff. Now, like, obviously you've done it and you know how long it's taken you, but prior to releasing stuff like that, I know a lot of people will take that sort of content for granted and be like, oh, we probably threw that together. But the sheer amount of work that goes into it, like you said, the layering and whatnot, that takes so much time on top of RuneScape already inherently taking an eternity to release content for.
Yeah, no, I've been so impressed now that I'm kind of in it to see how everyone else has been able to handle the amount of content. Well, the amount of content that you need to put out a video that's say 20 or 30 minutes long is extremely impressive, especially for like people like Verf, who put out, like, I know his latest free to play episode had, like, I mean, he essentially just 99 two skills from like 50 to 99 in one episode. It's like some of that to just sift through to get that content out to the masses is so impressive in and of itself that, like, you know, I'm working with a lot less actual levels and actual progress, so I try and supplement it with the kind of fun storytelling or, you know, ridiculous montage that I throw in to kind of pass the time. But yeah, no, I definitely became aware of it, like you said, through creating, and then I've definitely come away with a deeper appreciation for the content creators that, you know, like I binged Swampletics all at once, but I bet like that just took like so much effort behind the scenes that the average person would never be able to fully grasp the scope and the weight that comes with making larger scale content like that. So
That's why I really liked in the, I believe it was this last episode, he actually showed his massive calendar of, I need to do this by this date, this by this day, and he showed that it fluctuates constantly and you're never always going to be on point. When I first started my channel, I wanted to make a point of doing every Sunday something getting released. I haven't released anything the past 2 Sundays because I haven't had the content to put out. And it's given me time to reflect on stuff like when you bring up your supplemental content, like your songs and your storytelling and whatnot. That's one thing I'm leaning towards with the kind of next episode. It's kind of like a soft reboot of my series. I'm going to make it basically turn episodes 1 through 3 into like complete cinematic, like have it be a giant story, see how that goes, and then potentially have episode 4 be the same story driven format, as opposed to I did this, I did this, I did that.
Yeah, I think that in terms of the creating of longer lasting and not meaningful, but just like impactful storytelling definitely comes from like exactly what you said, like building a story, not just like showing what you did from place to place, but like, you know, I think that you really capture that in your first episode, that kind of like, this is my character, but here's like all of the things that he's got to accomplish and overcome throughout the time in this series, kind of thing. And I think that that's been very helpful to see and to look at. So
yeah, and I can admit that I lost that a bit along the way. It just became cut and paste, like I'm in this chunk, now I do this, and it became so monotonic that I can't even rewatch that content, but I'm going to have to, obviously, to retell that story. Not many content creators are actually putting out story driven videos anymore. Like you have Jimmy, he's he has this his free to play account that's hilarious, and it's nothing but
Oh
story.
yeah.
There's no progress. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna remember the fun, not the A to B like Swampletics. Don't really
Yeah.
remember a lot of his grinds per se, unless it was an entire video's worth, but you're remembering his story from rags to
Yeah.
riches.
Yeah, like the part that definitely stands out to me the most would be obviously the loss of the rune crossbow, and of course the clue scroll grind that he did.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've started I did a bit of clue scroll juggling on my one chunk series, and I just came to a realization that like that for that amount of time would be so demanding of your time and energy and thought
Mm-hmm.
that it definitely helps to have those little extra context parts to it. But I think that all of it, like you definitely felt like you were watching a story, not just like someone putting together 20 levels and a couple K's worth of grinds done or something. Like you're watching the growth, the regrowth, the rebuilds, the creativity behind, you know, where this character has come from and where this character is going. I think that's what made that stand out so much comparatively to other series.
Now you actually lead me into another good one. See, this is really working out here. When you say um, where this character's going, what's next for Mountain Man? Like you have teased in the past of doing rebooting the account, doing it as member space, turning into a PK account. Like, are you looking to do straight PK videos or showing you learning PKing? Like, how apt are you at PKing per se?
So I have never PK'd. I've been PK'd plenty of times, but I've never been on the giving end of a PK.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be kind of fun to. I think what the plan is I'm gonna get through my Obor grind. That's kind of like the next hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that I've got all the pieces ready, and then train up a little bit more. Get things ready for a PK excursion, and then potentially like having a kind of secondary account that I can show myself learning the PK moves on, and then coming out into the wilderness to get at least one successful PK kill on a player killer. Um, and I feel like from there, I don't know if there's much more that I want to do with the account. I know with with a lot of newer and older accounts, there was always kind of an end goal. And well, yeah, I could probably end up doing like a whole, it becomes my PK account, and I do a whole series on PKing and stuff. I feel like the point of the account was kind of like the revenge and the getting back from starting from square one at that moment where I got PK'd all the way to when I finish a PK myself. I feel like that's going to be a really good kind of arch of the story that I don't know if I want to continue the account past that final PK video.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not to say that I wouldn't continue the account in the future if something deemed or I felt like I wanted to move forward with it in some way. Um, but in terms of the idea of the Mountain Man account, I have had a lot of requests from um, like friends and people in the community of seeing what Mountain Man can be as a member account, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been very interested in it. I've done a little bit of theory crafting here and there to see where it could go, what's the end goal on an account like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I've got some ideas, and um, I think I think that the next goal or the next series will be the Mountain Man members account, um, just to kind of keep on the grinds and keep the aesthetics and the world of this character here going, while also growing and changing and evolving. Like the best part about remaking the account as to continuing the account is that I get to make less exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
um, which would be really nice. I think that that's going to be something to figure out, to overcome, a whole new set of challenges, rules, restrictions. Originally, I was thinking of taking my time on a new series that would be a more traditional locked account, so like Zaya Lock, Desert Lock, like something that like is a physical space as compared to cities and towns, which
Mhm.
like I'm kind of winging every time I choose to walk next to some part of a city as
Right.
compared to in it or something. It's not as easy as just entering a place and never coming out of that place. You know, I think I've been watching a lot of Extra Keen's Deserted series,
Mhm.
and it's such a fun new series and something that I haven't seen in a long time, and I want to. I think that like that 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 challenge of the like everything is available but just in this one place is different from the mountain man like challenge, but I'm also interested in continuing this journey with this type of character as well. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to a Zaya locked one. I know not too long ago we had the Twisted League, but that was some time ago now. And I feel like a Zaya locked account, like I know there's some out there, but they're far and few between, if not completely dead now, because I haven't seen
yeah.
anything pop up. I feel like that'd be a nice change of pace. Just an idea. Now with Mountain Man, when he goes for his revenge, obviously you're going to keep his same restrictions during the kill. It's not like you're going to go out and get um, a DSIM or something like that. I mean, obviously that's a member's item, but regardless of the point, it's not like you're going to go into the cities to gear up. You're just going to keep the
Yeah.
same restrictions as hitting. All right. And when it comes to making a member's Mountain Man, because I know you want to avoid towns and cities, of course, it's the name of the game. And I know it's technically considered a city, but I feel like maybe it's a gray enough line to gloss over getting a fire cape on him. Because
Yeah.
it's a
I
czar
think that
city, but
I've been testing out some ideas for the world of a Mountain Man members account and what the end goal can be, because I like a fire cape or the Inferno cape is a very classic um kind of
goal.
goal for a lot of accounts. Obviously, Swamp Settled's newest series, the goal is, I mean, right now it's the Fire Cape, but eventually it's going to be the Inferno Cape, which is a fantastic and kind of crazy end goal. I know, of course, with Verf's Karamja only, it was also the Inferno Cape and stuff. So, um, but yeah, the fact of the matter is that it is at least in part a city-like area, and I think on the wiki it does show that that place to get in is of course counted as either a city or a settlement or a town, or you know there's NPCs that you talk to that you buy and trade from. So in terms of the avoiding civilization, which is kind of more so than strictly being outside of cities and towns, it's the civilization of it all. Um, I've actually been looking at potentially doing a solo Chambers of Zarek run.
Mm-hmm.
It's the final goal because, as someone pointed out to me, it is a giant mountain. It is probably one of the biggest
Right.
mountains in RuneScape, and so a mountain man with the goal of climbing and defeating the largest mountain or one of them in game would be very funny to me, and
It'd be
would,
poetic.
yeah, it would be the point of the whole account, the namesake, all of that leading up to this final one mountain I have to climb. I think really works well with not only the challenge of it, because people were pointing out like it would be really difficult, but it would probably be doable. But on top of that, I feel like the storytelling of it, you know the lore, the background, the build up, the climb, everything could inevitably work its way towards this final peak. So
Now, my idea, if you wanted to go the route of getting the fire cape, since it is technically an item acquired within a city, maybe as soon as you get that fire cape,
drop it.
No, I was going to say immediately give it to the Inferno. So that way it leaves it open-ended if you do decide to take the Inferno challenge. And then if, say, you do get the Inferno, that's the end of the account and you hold on to that cape as a memory, or immediately offer it for a pet. Let's see, where do we go from here? With the Mountain Man, obviously was your first foray into, if that's a word, into your channel. But how do you feel about your Chunk account taking off so much more than Mountain Man with how much time you've put into it?
I think that there's always going to be less people watching free-to-play content than members content, and that was kind of it was a double-edged sword when I started my YouTube channel. Was that like I was starting on a free-to-play account, and I knew that there were limitations to just how big a series could be in that realm. I do think that uh, the success of the One Chunk account, it's all positive for me. I have no problem with one series being more popular than the other, and I was actually under the impression that would probably end up happening, just because the like One Chunk accounts are so fun to watch. I mean, like, I've joined into like 10 plus One Chunk series over my time watching the content since I became a content creator, and I feel like it is all it's all been very fun to see and grow and everything, not just the account but the community that I've been a part of because of this. And I think that, yeah, it was probably bound to happen, if not with this One Chunk account but with another account in the future. But I do hold that special place of it being the first series, of it being the beginning of the account, and so I want to put it to rest with, go out with a bang and do something really fun and big for the final episode, and then potentially carry on the flame in the members form, and potentially see that be even bigger than the One Chunk account, because it will truly have been something that no one on RuneScape has ever done. I mean, yeah, there have been like versions like I don't use shops, or I don't do this or whatever, those kinds of things. But in terms of completely avoiding civilization in the world of RuneScape, I think it'll be fun to try my hand at a new world, because like I explained, I haven't done membership in over 10 years or
Yeah,
whatever.
speaking of which, in episode 1, you explicitly said since 2008, you haven't had a membership since then. Why is that? Like, did you just take an extended break from the game?
Yeah, like a lot of people did in 2008 or around the evolution of combat, I just stopped playing. I moved. I did a lot of things in my personal life that just kind of got me off of RuneScape for a long time. And then back in 2018, I found Vanica's
Oh
series,
yeah,
the
I
free to
miss
play.
Vanica.
Yep, the free to play hardcore Iron Man series that he came up with, and I made my own free to play hardcore Iron Man. I put in, I think the account has like 24 days of playtime, like almost 1,000 levels. Like I went crazy big onto that because I was having so much fun watching the series. And then I kind of fell back out for a bit, and then I watched through Swampletics all the way through after it had come out, and totally got enamored back into YouTube. So, yeah,
Yeah, I got sucked
that was
into.
kind of the way to go.
Yeah, I definitely got sucked into Vanica when you released the 1000 only. You found it before I did then. But yeah, 1000 only was my introduction to him, then Slayer drop, and it's been 3 months since he's put anything out, so I'm hoping he comes back soon now. Speaking of content creators like Vanica, who would you say is your favorite content creator, old school RuneScape or otherwise?
Well, in old school RuneScape, I think obviously probably my favorite series of all time would end up being the Swampletics series. I don't know if Settled is my favorite creator, I do really like Frosty Bard. I think his humor is very funny. His songs are very witty and very like fun to listen to. I've actually listened to Scraps of Paper a lot. So give me 2 seconds. I just gotta go grab something.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that Frosty Bard's really has been really fun to kind of see the growth and the change and the kind of higher production value. Along with that, I think that LSD Broski is in that same plane for me, where I've watched since episode 1, or like I think I got in like around episode 2 or 3.
Mhm.
I've got to watch him as a creator grow, and I've helped with like giving some pointers for editing and stuff like that, because I have a lot of extensive knowledge about editing. So it was fun to see him grow as well as a creator, both from his music, from the first song that came out to his second song, all the way up to, you know, just the way that he puts together his videos is just it's been cool to see.
Speaking of editing, do you have prior experience in any form of video editing, thumbnail making, anything like that prior to getting into your channel?
Yeah, so I've both in terms of the kind of YouTube side of things and the physical like editing of video side of things, I have a lot of experience. My first YouTube channel was back in 2007, 2008. I was filming my screen with a camcorder, showing off glitches and tips and tricks in Call of Duty World at War Nazi Zombies.
Took me back again.
Yep. So from there till now, I've had probably about 4 or 5 different YouTube channels that I've tried my hand at over the years, and
You found the recipe.
yeah, it only took me 13 years, but I got it on this one.
Yeah, I took an extended break myself. I had a YouTube channel I released a while ago that was pretty much Minecraft and Pokemon card openings. That topped at like 45 subscribers. So when I got that plus some on my first day of releasing content, I immediately was taken aback, like, what happened here?
Yeah, I think that that finding that community that's so tight knit, that's looking for that's so hungry for content, was super important for growing my community, growing my base and everything. And the RuneScape community is so close knit that I was able to talk with bigger creators like Burf and like Extra Keen about their videos and stuff at an early time. So I was able to kind of get my footing and my bearing so that I could be successful later on, you know. So I think it is very cool that we're involved in such a close and dedicated group of people that will want to watch any and all RuneScape content. So
Speaking of RuneScape content, when you're talking about, let's bridge it back to World at War Zombies. I'm sure you've heard of Syndicate, right?
Oh yeah.
I got into World at War custom zombie maps from him years ago, and then I found out he played RuneScape. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And in Bodhi's absence, he pretty much took over the Twitch category whenever he streamed, and I was blown away that he actually committed to it finally. Do you have any plans for doing any non-RuneScape YouTube videos? Like, I noticed that on Twitch you play Valorant from time to time. Any thoughts on that?
I've definitely been interested in branching out. I think that RuneScape is, I mean, I've essentially been playing since on and off since 2004. So it has been, you know,
Your life's work, kind of.
yeah, almost. It has been at least over 2/3 of my life I've spent in the world of Gillinor.
Thank you. I was about to say, I'm like, Uh,
I still
potato,
I still messed
potato.
up that name.
Who doesn't? Come on. It's like Artie.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, like I don't just play RuneScape. I spend a lot of time. I play Apex. I play like real time strategy games. I've been testing my hand at playing some variety games on stream, just to kind of test the waters,
Hmm.
see what people are feeling. I might just go for it and end up uploading, the beginning of a playthrough of something, or the first whatever's of highlights of something. I might end up making a second channel that I do those uploads on. So I haven't really decided where I'm going to kind of put that or draw the line on it. Just because I want to make sure that the group of people that have come to me because of um, my work in RuneScape content doesn't feel like I've kind of moved away and
Hmm.
not interested in continuing the work. But I also want to make sure that people know that I'll probably end up working on other things in the future as well. I think that a content creator that I definitely look up to in that regards is It's Will.
Hmm.
He has so many like videos and so much fun on his YouTube channel, and it's all there, like all on that one. And I'd love to kind of get to a place where I can feel comfortable uploading whatever and knowing that the community is going to be there for it. And I think that to an extent, I've started to make my way towards there, but
Yeah.
um, I don't think it's going to happen in the near future, but maybe in the next couple months, you might see Fallout New Vegas or a Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 video come up, and you know, uh, we'll see though. We'll see.
Yeah, I'd definitely be down for some Fallout videos. One thing I definitely enjoy is watching the challenge videos done by like Madry Bread and Mitten Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing that I definitely went into my content with, especially, and I've been vocal about it on my Twitch, is I don't want to make a community that's strictly there for the content. Like, the content is what brings in the people, the personality is what makes them stay. So I've
Mm-hmm.
constantly talked about down the line doing like full-on Let's Plays as Legend of Zelda games. I have a Zelda tattoo and everything, but I haven't, beaten all the games. So it'd be nice to
Mm-hmm.
run through those on stream. When the new Pokemon games come out this fall, I plan on streaming that on launch hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's let's build a community that will stay there for you and for the other members of the community, because that's what it is. It's not just, they're not viewers, they're not just subscribers, they're essentially extended family.
Yeah, it definitely has felt like that. With my community, it has been so much fun to see it grow. I mean, like I have people who hop into the Discord to like run raids and stuff, and they like everybody's kind of done their own to make this community a place for everybody, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's been really helpful. Having so many cool people, I have people who are just there for the fun of it, people who've been there since day one that are mods now and that help keep the work flowing and everything. When I'm too busy to keep up with it, so I do enjoy seeing that go from just a close knit little group of people watching a person play some free to play content to a big group of RuneScape players, people who are just there for the videos, people who are there to get advice on how to build an account or what new game to play outside of RuneScape. I think that you hit the nail on the head with the idea that your content is there to bring people in, but your personality is there to keep them there. And I definitely hope that through my content that ends up um, being the case for a lot of people who come in.
Now, one thing that I just realized recently listening to like the Sebe cast is that there's classes of essentially content creators that all come up together,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all kind of like grouped together, whether it's by choice or by not. Like when you think of like the OGs, Ditter, Sickner, Torvesta, that stuff, and you think of like
Yeah,
the
of
newer
course.
class, you got Tasty, Zoe Pancakes, those newer creators that kind of pretty much built a team that are constantly, they raid each other, they support each other constantly. And I
Mhm.
think, at least as far as the chunk community goes, we're witnessing another class coming up. Because you
Yeah,
have
I
like
definitely agree.
LSD Broski, yourself. I don't want to put myself in there yet because definitely I didn't hit the same peaks as you guys, but we'll see. But there's a lot of these smaller creators that are hitting a rise really quick,
Mhm.
and I'm really looking forward to see what becomes of that. Like, we're definitely all supporting each other. We all want to see each other come up because what's good for one person is good for all the people, and that's good for the game.
Oh yeah, I definitely have felt that sense of community and camaraderie between the groups of people that I've talked to as well. Like you said, like LSD Broski, Frosty Bard, people like that um, yeah, like have all kind of hit the strides at the same time, and um, I've been very appreciative of the giving feedback or checking out the videos when they come out or having a community available to post new videos as they come out or streams as they're happening and stuff like that. So um, I do agree that there are kind of waves, ebbs and flows of groups of people that will get grouped together, and I'm hoping that my efforts through not just Mountain Man but also of course through the One Chunk series has been proven for the to be in that group, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why I wanted to make this series and start off with you as the first guest on there, is because we have the Sebe cast that will bring on all these big name content creators that already have the exposure. Not saying I have the platform to, raise anyone up, but to take all these like lesser known content creators and give them a further platform to project out their content and give a little insight on who they are as a person, where they came from, and what's next. Speaking of next, I wanted to ask you, who do you think I should try to get on for the next episode?
Ooh, I I think that of course LSD Broski would be a great continuation, especially because you guys are so close in chunks and you guys
Mm-hmm.
have even overlapped on a few chunks already. That it would be very very entertaining to kind of see you guys talk about the current and the past and the future of the chunks and everything. So I would definitely, and I know that he would totally be down for it. He's a really cool dude. Me and LST Broski just did a fun kind of special duo stream where we did a race to see who could get the most amount of cards on a bingo card.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it was all RuneScape stuff, like finish 24 or get 24 quest points, do this, do that, whatever. And that video is hopefully going to be up in the next week or so. My video and his video of our perspectives of that, and so I think that LSD Broski would love to be on here. If you're looking for like someone even bigger than me, who definitely I feel like would be interesting to talk to kind of get a different perspective on the world of RuneScape content creation that isn't doing a one chunk series right now. I think Extra Keen would be
Mm-hmm.
a really cool addition to this as well. He's very funny, he's very smart, he's very witty, and he has been very very cool with being open to talking and messaging on Discord and stuff, and now we raid each other and are a bit more active in each other's series and stuff than we were before. But yeah, I think he would also be a great fit on this as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah, I think LSD Broski will probably be my next guest that I'm going to try to get on. Obviously, you said he'll probably be interested in it. I think he will be too, but I'll definitely give that a shot. As far as X
mhm.
Rakim goes, I want to get him on here, of course. Again, it's one of those things like he doesn't necessarily need the exposure because he's blown up so much, but I would love to
Mhm.
just talk with him, especially if I can get him on right before Tombs of a Masket drops.
Ooh, yeah. Just as kind of
Like,
like
that's a
a
timing thing. Like, it would be just poetic for him to obviously he'll have his last episode he'll put up before Tombs comes out, and obviously, a week, 2 weeks, a month after Tombs drops. But for that time period in between to get his final thoughts going into it, how confident he is, I think would definitely help set a tone for the month to come.
Yeah, yeah. I think that would be a great kind of little filling in between um, moments for his series as well. So
With one thing I definitely wanted to ask in episode 4 of Mountain Man, the big wipe, how exactly did you feel after you lost everything and knew that you had to start all over? It wasn't like even you said, it wasn't a big grind and it was all stuff you could get back. But mentally, how did you feel after that happened? Like, did you take like a day and just think before you just recorded again and just been like, what am I gonna do?
well, when it first happened, I was like totally devastated. I thought that something had gone wrong on the game side of thing. I was trying to figure out, oh, well, it's got to be the game. I should have at least a few things. I rushed into the Ferox Enclave and broke a rule, trying to figure out how to get my stuff back because I hadn't died on the account like that before and knew about the death's coffer and all the death mechanics and stuff. So the initial reaction, it was also like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when it happened because I was like, oh, I'll go and be way way in the middle of night. No one is going to be on, and of course, jump by 2 PKers. But I think that it ended up being a growth for the account, a growth for the channel to see what I could do to come back from that, to see where I could go from there. And yeah, I essentially I was planning on doing a few other things um, from that series or from that episode, but then I got killed again, and I just decided to end the episode there.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, I finished editing the video, I put it out, and I went straight back to starting the grind again. So
Yeah, you definitely
you
went
know,
through the stages of grief there: denial, anger,
yeah.
bargaining, depression, then acceptance. It's like you definitely rebounded a lot faster than some content creators, because I know Settled was destroyed. I mean, albeit he was a lot further than you were,
Hmm.
but he obviously had personal stuff in his life going on at the same time. That's why he even had to go AFK where he was. But we all content creators are going to have something like that happen, whether it's a chunk man on an unnecessary long grind like 30,000 sharks that he's still waiting on, or in your case, wiping, or a PK content creator completely zeroing his bank out and having to rebuild. Like, every content creator has to go through something. It's definitely a test of the fortitude for them to get back on that horse and keep going.
Yeah.
What would be one short-term goal and one long-term goal for you?
Well, in terms of, are you referring to stuff like with YouTube or stuff with like the accounts?
In general, like, it could be for the chunk account. I mean, obviously we know the goals of the account, but like for your accounts, for your channel, for your personal life, like, what do you want to do, like, in the
Yeah.
next 1 to 6 months and 1 to 5 years?
Well, I'm definitely in terms of the kind of shorter term goals. Right now, I'm looking at getting an adamant axe on my one chunk account because this woodcutting grind will definitely be, I think I'll save like 3 months of my life
Mm-hmm.
or up to a year of my life depending on how diligent I am with woodcutting in the future. But yeah, that's going to be a whole kind of next hurdle to cover, especially when it comes to getting that drop, making it happen. There's a lot of moving pieces that I'll probably be covering in the next One Chunk account episode. And one of the, I guess, long-term goals, I would love to see myself and the channel be able to make this like a full-time position. Right now, it's definitely been doing much better than anything I've ever done on YouTube before, which has been a ton of fun to see that happen. But at the same time, I definitely am looking to make sure that I can do this with the kind of security that comes with a lot of content creators who have X amount of views per video, X amount of follows and subscriptions, those kinds of things. So yeah, I don't know what that specific goal will be in the future, X amount of subscribers or X amount of whatever, but I definitely would love to see. It's already been so close to happening over the last couple of months that I've just been so appreciative of everyone that supported the channel, supported the content and everything with likes, video views, comments, suggestions, those kinds of things. So yeah, I definitely couldn't be happier in the place and time that I'm in right now. So
Yeah, because you're up to almost 8,500 subscribers, and I'm sure you've already passed the, what was it, the 40,000 hour watch hour goal. So I'm sure you're probably already partnered over on YouTube now, right?
yeah, I've got the partnership on YouTube, and I just hit affiliate on Twitch a couple weeks ago as well. So those have definitely been nice little the beginning of the uphill grind of building those communities and everything. So
And I'm sure the only thing that you're pretty much waiting for on Twitch is to get the partner on there, which is like 75 average viewers over the month.
yeah, that one is
It's
going to be
steep.
quite a steep build. I think that once I finish um, my Mountain Man free to play account and I move it to members and I kind of start streaming that as the main game, and the One Chunk becomes the kind of smaller secondary account, just in between the crazy grinds that I'm going to have to do for that, I think I might be able to make partner. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how many people are there, how many people come out for it. You know, I've been so blown away by the support already that anything past that is even crazier to me. So
Yeah, it leads back into the community and making sure, we all stick together and support each other, because I know with RuneScape players on Twitch, if you're not in the top, you know, 10 people live, you're pretty much fighting for the scraps. And
yeah,
especially with Bodhi being back, everyone's going to his stream. So if anyone's streaming the same time as him, you are literally getting the bare minimum. So
oh yeah,
that's why, bringing all the communities together is definitely going to help raise up the bottom, raise the threshold up.
yeah. A lot of people like to explain, the raising the water level helps all the boats float, or all the boats sail. So it's definitely a goal that I know that I'm not the only person who's interested in making it happen. Is just making sure that all of the communities of the kind of smaller content creators are working together to lift everybody up, so that we can all you know grow, get bigger, see more people get affected by our content, and get the enjoyment that we so hope that we can put out there for.
That's why I really hoping this series that I'm starting takes off and helps everybody out. You and LSD Broski having your um, collaboration together, just seeing all these people again raise up the water level. Um, the last thing I got for you is, do you have any shout outs you want to give, whether it's to other content creators we might not have talked about, or to members of your community, your mod team, anything like that?
Yeah, I'd love to give a few shout outs. Obviously to the host of today's little show, Your Savior Sync, you. I would love to shout you out. You've been super awesome in setting this up and getting this together. I think it's a great idea. I had actually had an idea of doing like kind of like a podcast like thing in the future. So I'd love to see what happens with this series, and if people are interested in it, I'd love to, you know, kind of see what other things could happen in that world.
I mean, I think
And
definitely after, like, I feel like we definitely had chemistry over the course of this whole thing. So if doing some kind of podcast is something you're interested in, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to maybe doing a podcast together and trying to get guests on there like how we did today.
yeah, definitely. Um, and then just the group of people that have been following me, sticking to me like glue, has definitely made for a really, really amazing time on YouTube here. And I've been having a lot of fun working on all this content, and I can't wait to get some more stuff out for everybody.
Any other shout outs for, like, do you happen to recall, like, who might have been your first couple, like, commenters on your videos or anything like
I know
that?
that there were a few people, like Shiny Sneasel, like Kextro Hardy, Kono Tyran. There's been so many people who have come in. Obviously, UIM Dungeon. There's been so many people who have upheld this community and made it better than what I could have ever done on my own. All the mod team, all the people who come to the streams, Omaji, people like that. It's been so fun to see the hard work pay off, even in those smaller moments, you know.
All right, so that sounds good to me, and we've actually been talking for about 55 minutes now, which is a lot longer than I anticipated, but...
Well, hopefully you don't have too much difficulty cutting it down, and
that's going to be the
guys,
rough part.
yeah. Well,
I'm thinking about possibly putting this up as maybe even just an uncut raw. Like, this would be nice for someone to listen to while they're AFKing, or like if they're on some kind of like long drive or whatnot. Because at this point, like, I thought 10-15 minutes, short, concise, were good. I could throw a lot of your clips together and it would all mesh well. And at this point, with it being close to an hour, that's pretty much 3 of your episodes together. So I really would have a hard time finding enough content really to supplement all of it. So I might throw some clips in here and there as we're talking about, you know, when we're talking about your music, bringing, like, showing clips from the video for that, or when you wiped on episode 4, stuff like that. So I think for the most part, this is going to be pretty cut and dry on my end. As long as the audio levels prove to be good, then it's be pretty much straight upload. I'm hoping to have this up this weekend. As of right now, it's June 13th, so hopefully next weekend I can, you know, spend the week working on getting this all tidied up, get this up on Sunday potentially. Obviously, before I put this out, I'll send it over to you, so if you see anything that you want cut out, or if there's specific clips you want added in.
I don't think I said anything too scandalous, so...
Yeah, we definitely kept it pretty PG, which is hard for me. I swear like none other, and it's a miracle.
I mean, you've watched my videos.
Yeah,
so.
like
you know my tendency for the profanity, the F-bombs, the everything in between that.
I'm amazed. I've pretty much kept the swearing out of my videos up to this point, but when I'm live on Twitch, it's so hard to restrict myself. But I mean, yeah, we definitely kept this pretty tame for the most part. So
yeah.
But all right, well, it was a pleasure having you on here.
Yeah,
and
it was a pleasure being here. Thanks for hosting this. I'm excited to see who comes on next. I'll pass the baton on to whoever it is.
Like I said, I'll be reaching out to LSD Broski, so I'm not saying he's on the next episode, but more than likely, as long as he says yes, that'll be episode 2. And I'm hoping to maybe put out one of these, like, I'm looking at once a month for the time being, so probably July might be LSD Broski, August maybe X Rakeen. So if any of the people listening or watching this is interested in the idea, don't badger them. but reach out to your favorite content creator and be like, hey, this guy's doing a series spotlighting the community. You know, if you're interested, let him know, because I'm pretty much down to work with anybody in the community. I don't care if you have 1 subscriber or 1 million subscribers, which obviously no one in the RuneScape community has, but that's besides the point. Let's make the community whole again, because I know a lot of fractures have developed between a lot of the higher end guys, and I know there's a bit of like healthy rivalry on the lower end, but I want this whole community to come back together, raise everyone up for the betterment of not just their channels and community, but for the game as a whole. Because if the community thrives, the game thrives.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that.
All right, so I will definitely keep in touch with you, and I hope all your grinds go nice and smooth.
As I hope that that big shark is right on the horizon for you.
Yeah, I'm about to push 31,000. Don't get me started on that. 6 times drop rate. I haven't heard of anybody going this dry.
Yeah, that is pretty insane. I do not envy that. I know the feeling, but yeah, no. Good luck with it though.
Yeah.
The series has been really entertaining.
It's also amusing. I would go to court with some people and we'd get the raw shark drop and everyone would laugh, be like, haha. I'm like, oh, thanks. Just the reminder I need. I'm going through the stages of grief myself. I'm in the depression mode now. I need to get to the acceptance, then I'll just get the drop.
Yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that. 50-50. Either do or you don't.
All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here and I will catch you next time.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.
All right. Well, there you have it. There's episode 1 of the Old School RuneScape Content Creator Showcase. Again, I want to thank everybody for listening, and I hope you check out Mountain Man's socials down in the description. Follow him on Twitch, subscribe to him on YouTube. He's doing some great things, and I'm looking forward to the grinds he has coming. As you heard there, one of the people he wants to call out for the next episode is LSD Broski, and I have spoken with him already, and he has agreed to appear on the next episode of the showcase. So look forward to that. Not sure when it's going to be. Right now I'm looking at maybe monthly releases, but if I can get the streamline down and a lot of people are enjoying it, I'll try to push for bi-weekly or even weekly. So again, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. If you have any questions you want answered by LSD Broski, leave them below and I'll make sure I filter them out for him. I'm your Savior Sync, and I'll catch you hotties next time.